Smoke curled from the blackened ground, tasting like burned metal and bad decisions. Kale Voss trudged through the wreckage of Tharian 9's final battle, his boots crunching on fragments of drones and dreams alike. The war had ended 3 hours ago, apparently in victory, though the only sign of triumph was the smell of overcooked atmosphere and the occasional spark from dying machines. He muttered to himself, "If this is winning, I'd hate to see what losing smells like." His ration bar melted in his pocket, completing the tragedy. He was searching for anything useful, ammo, water, maybe a fresh pair of socks, when his helmet scanner pinged faintly. A heat signature, small but alive, pulsed from beneath a collapsed transport. Kale hesitated. Usually that kind of signal meant something about to explode, but this one felt different. He dug through the twisted metal, cursing creatively in 3 languages, until he uncovered a shape that made him blink twice. It was a girl. At least she looked like one. Her skin shimmered faintly with iridescent scales, her long ears twitching even in unconsciousness. A dragon hybrid. He'd heard rumors, imperial experiments, Dominion royalty, but this one looked fragile, broken, paralyzed maybe. Definitely breathing though, which meant she wasn't his problem yet. Kale sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. "Well, Miss Shiny Ears, looks like I just volunteered for something stupid again." He crouched, gently sliding his arms under her. Her eyelids fluttered open for a moment, golden eyes staring right through him. "Don't leave me," she whispered, voice trembling like static over a radio. "Great," Kale muttered. "Now she talks. Guess lunch will have to wait." He carried her toward the wrecked horizon, grumbling, "If anyone asks, I was brainwashed by compassion." Kale found a shallow crater to rest, the kind that smelled vaguely of ozone and burned circuits. He laid her down gently, muttering, "Comfortable as a luxury pod, if your idea of luxury is jagged metal and cosmic dust." She stirred, her long ears twitching like radar dishes scanning the horizon, and gave him a sidelong glare that could melt titanium if she wanted. "I'm Lyra," she said, voice hoarse but tinged with sarcasm. "You're human, obviously." "Thanks for the observation," Kale replied, plopping down beside her. "I was going to deny it, but you caught me mid-lying about my species." He winced. "Not that lying helps much. Military training, you know. Lie, survive, repeat." She tilted her head, examining him. "You're soft-hearted, aren't you?" "Me, soft? No, I'm extremely pragmatic. Pragmatic enough to drag a potentially deadly alien through a radioactive wasteland. That's pragmatism, right?" Kale scratched his helmet. "Also, I'm hungry, and possibly allergic to your kind." Lyra laughed, a melodic tinkling sound that seemed too delicate for this ruined planet. "Allergic to dragons? That's absurd." Kale grinned, ignoring the ache in his muscles. "Absurdity is my specialty." He rummaged through his pack, producing a ration cube which she sniffed cautiously. "I swear, it tastes better if you imagine it's chocolate." As they shared the meager meal, a distant hum made Kale glance skyward. Patrol drones probably searching for survivors. Lyra's ears twitched, a subtle warning, but she didn't panic. Instead, she quipped, "You know, for someone called a soldier, you're terrifyingly human." "Hey, I take that as a compliment," Kale said. "Mostly, probably, unless you're secretly plotting to cook me with royal-grade fire later." She smirked faintly, and for the first time, Kale realized that surviving this mess might be tolerable, especially if she kept talking. The sky above Tharian 9 burned with distant explosions, a chaotic fireworks show orchestrated by fleets that didn't seem to care who survived. Kale kept one eye on the horizon while Lyra leaned against a jagged metal outcrop, her long ears flicking at every whine of distant engines. "They're everywhere," she said, voice low but tinged with humor. "Imperial drones, Dominion scouts. I didn't think your species could annoy anyone this much." Kale snorted. "Oh, we're masters at it, humanity's official motto. Make a mess, apologize later, blame it on quantum miscalculations." He adjusted the strap of the makeshift harness supporting her. "Speaking of messes, you weigh more than I expected. Not that I'm complaining mostly. Lyra raised an eyebrow. Mostly. Mostly, Kale said solemnly. The rest is sheer terror at the thought of dropping you on a death crater. A sudden shimmer of light caught their attention. A squad of autonomous patrol drones hovered into view, their lenses glowing red. Kale froze. Lyra's tail twitched behind her like a metronome counting down doom. Stay calm, Kale whispered. I mean, stay calmish. Dramatic running is optional. Lyra smirked. Optional, huh? And if I choose to roast them instead? Kale winced. Not the first time I've had dinner plans ruined by a dragon girl. With a shared glance, they bolted. Kale rolled behind debris, tossing a small EMP grenade to fry the drone's circuits temporarily. Sparks flew. Lyra laughed as she tumbled beside him, her ears flattening comically. You humans really are reckless. Reckless is my middle name, Kale panted. Actually, it's Gerald, but that sounds boring. As the drone sputtered and fell, Kale realized that in the chaos of war and alien politics, humor might just be the best weapon they had, and perhaps the only thing keeping them alive. Kale's idea of a safe hideout was, admittedly, unconventional. An abandoned orbital relay station dangling on the edge of Tharian 9 atmosphere, half fused with the wreckage of a crashed freighter. It's charming in a post-apocalyptic sort of way, he explained, brushing dust off a console that sparked like it had been electrocuted by bad luck. Lyra's ears twitched suspiciously. You call this charming? She asked, one eyebrow arching so high it nearly disappeared into her hairline. I call it mildly suicidal. Kale grinned, producing a small toolkit. Mildly suicidal, yes, but statistically safer than getting roasted by drones. Also, I like to live on the edge. Keeps life interesting. And pants optional, he added, because apparently humor was necessary when dealing with dragon royalty. Their reunion with Tyne, the rogue medic, was chaotic in the way Kale suspected most genius minds were. Loud, messy, and dangerously caffeinated. Tyne appeared from behind a pile of mechanical limbs, eyes widening at Lyra's shimmering scales. By the circuits of Jupiter, you've caught one of the Emperor's toys. She's your problem now. Kale asked, pointing at Lyra with a thumb. Tyne smirked. Mine no fun, definitely. As Tyne worked, Kale and Lyra quipped constantly. Kale teasing Tyne about using duct tape as a universal solution. Lyra mockingly critiquing Kale's human ingenuity, which mostly involved duct tape and swearing. Lyra's tail flicked in amusement, knocking over a jar of what Kale swore were alien pickles. By the time Tyne finished constructing a makeshift exoskeletal support for Lyra, the trio had somehow survived minor explosions, accidental electrocution, and Kale nearly setting himself on fire with a malfunctioning plasma welder. Lyra, leaning against her new support, sighed. I suppose humans can be endearing in their irritating way. Kale grinned. Endearing is my specialty. Also, surviving insane situations without losing your eyebrows. He held up his singed hair as proof. See. Lyra laughed softly, the sound bouncing off the metal walls. And for a moment, the station felt less like a tomb and more like the beginning of something unpredictable and dangerously alive. The moment came sooner than Kale expected. A sharp hum vibrating through the station as Dominion search drones closed in like a swarm of metallic mosquitoes. He glanced at Lyra, who was perched awkwardly on her new exoskeletal support, long ears flicking in irritation. Time to panic or politely negotiate. He muttered. Neither, she said, a gleam of mischief in her golden eyes. Time to show them why humans shouldn't babysit royalty. Before Kale could protest, Lyra's body shimmered. Her human guise dissolved in a cascade of emerald light, revealing the dragon essence trapped within gleaming scales, elegant wings folded behind her, tail twitching with controlled energy. Kale blinked twice. Oh wow, okay. Wow. The drones froze, their sensors unable to process the sudden surge of raw power. Lyra flexed her wings slightly, and one drone fizzled into sparks. You humans really underestimate dragon flair, she said casually, as if frying a few machines were no more dangerous than brewing tea. Kale coughed, rubbing the back of his neck. Right, casual dragon flair, got it. No big deal. Tyne, who had been crouched behind a console, squeaked and then laughed nervously. That's actually kind of awesome. Don't hurt me, okay? Lyra's smirk softened. Don't worry, mostly I hurt machines. People are negotiable. Kale helped her steady herself, realizing that by shielding her, he had just crossed a threshold. They were no longer fugitives hiding a strange creature. They were protectors of someone whose very existence could ignite interstellar war. He glanced at her, humor masking his awe. So, technically, I'm now your royal bodyguard. Does that come with a uniform or just more explosions? She chuckled softly, her golden eyes glinting. Mostly explosions. But you might get a crown someday. Kale groaned. Great, I hate hats. Even in the chaos, laughter lingered between them, a fragile shield against the storm of empires closing in on their heads. The cells were cold, sterile, and boringly rectangular, the kind of place Kale suspected had been designed by someone who hated imagination. He sat on a metal bench, legs dangling, as guards outside hummed a tune that sounded suspiciously like elevator music remixed with a death march. Lyra was in a separate containment field, wings folded and tail coiled neatly, glaring at the force field like it had personally insulted her. Well, Kale muttered, we're officially in the "this is a terrible idea" phase of life. I always wanted to see the inside of a maximum security human facility, but, not like this. Lyra tilted her head, a spark of amusement flickering across her golden eyes. You talk too much for someone about to be executed for treason. Talk is free, Kale said. Execution not so much. I figure I'll negotiate or distract them, or cheat at their own games. He smirked, wiggling his fingers as if plotting a heist in a rom-com. When a bored AI guard wheeled by, Kale's mind lit up. You like poker? He asked, casually flipping a small metal shard onto the table. I do not compute, said the AI. Perfect. I'll teach you human deception. It's like math but with dishonesty and dramatic flair. Kale's grin widened. Lyra's faint chuckle echoed across the corridor, making the sterile air feel oddly warm. While Kale played, Lyra used her weakened telepathy, whispering jokes into his mind. Tell him you only cheat when the universe deserves it. Kale snorted, flicking an invisible card. The AI's sensors whirred in confusion. Minutes blurred. Lyra's subtle mental nudges kept Kale calm. Kale's antics distracted the AI long enough to access a console, sending encrypted signals to Tyne outside. They were plotting an escape amid sarcastic commentary, sparks, and the occasional muttered curse about bad coffee and worse security. Even in captivity, they laughed, human and dragon, side by side, turning a cell into a battlefield of wit, courage, and improbable survival. The stolen war cruiser drifted through orbit like a shiny accident waiting to happen. Kale gripped the controls, knuckles